Is Linux hard? Let's discuss. So I was having my early morning coffee, iced coffee, at 6 a.m. and this random thought came into my mind. Is Linux hard? In a nutshell, yes. Or is it? Let's put ourselves in this situation. Okay? I know it's a very specific situation, but it actually illustrates quite well the possible answer to this question. And the question is Linux hard? So, what are the majority of computers these days? And well, for the most part, all time users, right? So only a handful of us are actually people who care about and take care of systems and admins and whatever the case. So far, my channel is mostly about helping those people out, but I'm going to shift quite a lot for the user part because we are mostly users. Okay, so for the most part, we are users. And going back to the first question, is Linux hard? To tell that something is hard or easy, you need to have yourself a way to compare, right? So let's compare with the obvious option. Let me check my audio. Yep. Let's compare with the obvious, which is Windows. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of a normal user. Let's be a little bit more specific to start. So let's be a little bit more specific. I work a lot with let's call it elderly people, people from this with 70 years old and 80 years old. Yes, there are people that old. It's just a matter of speech that use computers. And let's put ourselves in the shoes of that target audience. Is Windows easier to use for those people comparing to Linux? Let me put yourselves in their shoes. While Windows works, and I'm not talking about troubleshooting. I'm not talking about troubleshooting at all. That's not the subject here. I'm not even going that route. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of a regular Windows user. Okay? What and like I said, I give support to elderly people that use Windows. And they only use Windows for now. What are the causes of their phone calls? They don't call me because performance. They don't call me because the computer is slow or because they want to install some newer or the newer NVIDIA drivers. Okay? They call me because they see that let's finish setting up your computer pop-up. They call me because they see do you want to buy some extra space to your OneDrive? Let's finish setting up your computer. Remind me in 3 days. Do you want to make your network public? Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? Let's finish the setup. Let's your online account. You want to buy Office? Let's set up OneDrive. Your files are not safe because OneDrive is not set up. Those are 95% or more of the calls are all about that. They don't call me because there is a technical problem. They don't call me because the internet is slow. They call me because they see some random pop-ups they don't understand. And I'm going to buy OneDrive or this or why do I turn my computer and he's asking me to set up if everything's already set up? Why I'm watching that circular thing applying updates for the last hour? Why can I use my computer? Why did my computer reboot just to finish setting up my updates? So those are the most common cases for the calls. It's not for something more deeper that requires a more advanced user and someone with more knowledge. Going back to the first question, is Linux hard? Yes, Linux is hard. Let's put it like that. Linux is hard. Yes, but let's put again on our shoes of a person that just wants to open the computer, open the browser, and use it. Is Linux that hard? For example, going back to the updates subject. Many times in Linux, You apply updates when you want to apply them. You don't get hassled by them. And if you do, and even if you do, sometimes some Linux boxes say, when you can, reboot the machine. See you later. Or when it's ever possible to you, reboot the machine. They don't force you down the throat the update. Windows puts the updates in the upfront position. So people see the updates and they get worried. Should I apply it? I need to apply the updates. And with the upcoming ends of Windows 10, they shove you down your throat Windows 11. But again, they kind of give you mixed messages. Your computer does not support Windows 11. Do you want to download and install Windows 11? Again, what if this PC cannot install Windows 11 because some stupid rule you have just to force people to use Windows 11? If this in the same session people log in and say your computer is at risk, it does not support Windows 11. Do you want to install Windows 11? What? Make up your minds. Again, another situation I come across almost every day. People enjoy, elderly people enjoy the simple Outlook email client that Windows had for the last, 10 years or more. They are shoving you down your throat the newest email client. Do you know how confusing it is for people of that age? And I know I'm targeting a very specific group of people. I know. I'm targeting a very specific group of people. I know. But they are a huge group. They swap the Windows client for something more up to date, so they say. It's a completely different client. Many people memorize things by position, and the things just moved around to completely different positions and looks. For example, in Linux, you have the Thunderbird email client, just to give you an example. It's the same thing, or you can put it look the same thing, and it won't change for anytime soon. So things can be more predictable in a Linux box. Is Linux harder? Well, now you can maybe think about things a little bit differently. For example, I have there my Mint box there. Okay? I don't remember when I installed it. So I know I can just run a couple of commands and find out when it was installed. So relax, put the keyboards down. I know how to do it. Do I care? I don't. It just works. I update what I want. Still works. It's a basic machine, okay? I give you that. It doesn't require any crazy special drivers. But most of the people using computers are like that. Integrated graphics works. I have here a PC with Linux that uses NVIDIA drivers. Yeah, the NVIDIA drivers are rough, but they are at the point that they actually work. Very usable. I can update them freely with no problems. They just work. AMD even maybe it's a little bit better. I don't have any AMD based machines here at the ready. I have one. I need to install it. It's different story. Is Linux harder? It's debatable. I know. But put yourself in the shoes of a basic user. What do they do? Even in the workspace. What do? They just sit down, log in, and workspace, I mean, even at home. They open the browser and, 90% of the tools used nowadays are browser-based. Linux, it just works. So, of course, the setup is different. The setup process is different. Maybe it's just different. But that's why I have the tech guy, and your tech guy will just be very thankful for you using Linux in a desktop because it just works. Stop the keyboards. I know there are some tools that are dedicated. They cannot be used in a web form. that actually needs a Windows machine. I get that sometimes you need to use Windows because some tools that still don't have any alternatives. I don't speak about virtual machines and wine because a regular user doesn't care about that. If you can put a shortcut on the desktop that to double click it just works, fine. But they just want to click and things to work. They don't want to get interrupted by let's finish your setup. And I'm talking about in office use and at home use, the regular users, because the office user usually has a support that they can assist. Home users, they don't. Okay? So is Linux harder? It's not an easy question to answer. Okay? It's not an easy question to answer. Or is it? Maybe it is. Is Linux harder? Put yourself on these shoes. You are a regular user, you just need your browser. Is Linux harder? More than my opinion, I want to hear your opinion. Okay? So, is Linux harder? That's the question. Is Linux harder? Spam the comment section. I give you a couple of examples that a Linux could be the use case, and most likely it's not harder. But the main thing here is to hear your opinion, okay? Spam the comment section. This is going already for 11 minutes, my pseudo rant. But when I drink coffee, my mind just goes overdrive, and I had to spill the beans a little bit. This is a conversation that I could make for in a 2-hour video or more easily. I am more than happy to discuss with any of you guys. Just Alex asked me to join the channel, and I'll discuss it with you guys. It's a very interesting discussion. Is Linux harder? That's the question that I want to get answers for. And if I get enough answers in the comment section, I will make a compilation video and checking out your answers. Spam the comment section. Let me know what you think. Is Linux harder? Like, subscribe, and comment. It all helps. And I see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.